If you need some holiday one-shot ideas, or if you just came here to get the stat block from Mrs. Claus, we have got a great video for you today. Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today is a video that was made by you, the subscriber. On my community page, I asked the question, what type of Christmas or holiday idea could you use for a one-shot or a side quest? After you submitted your ideas, I put them all on the Wally DM Discord, and there was a vote that took place, and now I have the top 5 ideas for you for a one-shot Christmas or holiday adventure. So let's take a look at these one by one and dig in. Our first idea, courtesy of Dr. Feargood, who writes, Mrs. Claus the Celestial. The gods created for Santa to help in a crusade of assembling the toys to keep all the little children happy. Now some evil PCs have come to steal the toys while Santa is away on his deliveries, but Mrs. Claus must protect the workshop and the toys with the help of the Toymaker Elves. So this is a unique idea from Dr. Feargood, where your adventurers are going to actually play the roles of robbers or thieves that are there to steal the toys. So Santa and the reindeer are away making deliveries, and your PCs have come upon this map of the entire compound of Santa headquarters. And now all they're going to do is they're going to walk right in and steal all the supplies that they needed. Unfortunately for them, Mrs. Claus has decided to stay back and protect home base. So now our evil PCs and thieves are going to go up against Toymaker Elves, Mrs. Claus, and anything else that you can throw at them. Now, if you'd like to use this one-shot idea, Dr. Feargood is kind enough to give us all an early Christmas present with regards to Mrs. Claus and the Toymaker Elves, and even some magic items that you can throw in this game. If you take a look at Mrs. Claus's stat block, you can see that she can definitely take care of anyone that tries to intrude, from her flirty presence or her ice skating ability, all the way to her Christmas song and her lair actions. Mrs. Claus is not going to be beat. And by the end of this one-shot, hopefully the characters that your players are playing have a change of heart, and by the power of Mrs. Claus and the Toymaker Elves, turn everything around and join the side of good. Now, if you would like to check out the stats for Mrs. Claus and the Toymaker Elves, I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can go check out the work by Dr. Feargood. Be sure to let him know how much you enjoy these items. Also with those are going to be 6 magic Christmas items that include a candy cane rapier, a cinnamon disc, a fey beanie, a pair of fey shoes, a peppermint disc, and ribbon candy. Our second idea for holiday one-shots is brought to us by Zooftra, and Zooftra writes, all around the city, figures can be found on street corners ringing small, tinkling bells to collect money for the local orphanage. Nobody thinks much of it at first, but the bells never stop. They keep getting louder and more insistent until nobody in the town can sleep and people start losing it. The ringers don't look so innocent either, and Zooftra writes that this was inspired by the Carol of the Bells, Silver Bells, and Edgar Allan Poe's Bells poem. So this one-shot idea is reminiscent of the Salvation Army that has the bell. They stand outside of shops during the holiday season and take donations for money, and a lot of folks will come in and out of the store donating their spare change to help those in need. So how can we turn this into D&D and use this idea? Well, perhaps these cauldrons that the gold coins are stored in or the donations are taken in are cursed, or perhaps the bells are cursed. And there's one individual in particular that is actually siphoning the money from all of these. So in order to get the bell stop, our characters are going to have to find out who is siphoning all of these money, and perhaps eventually at the end of the adventure they're going to find this Scrooge McDuck vault of gold that has been taken from the cauldrons. And in fact, if they inspect the cauldrons, perhaps when they open it and they can see once they put money in there, it's like a devouring thing. And the bells are actually a warning sign saying, hey, there's something going on and it is wrong here, and they just keep ringing and ringing. Now that's just a way that I could possibly see using this idea, and I do apologize to Zooftra up front because I'm sure that's probably not the intent and purposes of this one-shot idea, but I'm unfamiliar with the Edgar Allan Poe poem or the other references, so reading this on our YouTube community page, that's kind of just what immediately came to mind. Our next idea was submitted by Inquisitor Thorn, and it reads, an eccentric wizard's hat of awakening has blown out a window and landed on a snowman, granting him life. Now he's on the run, has charmed the town's urchins, and is making for the dock on the far side of town to take a boat to Icewind Dale. So this could make an interesting one-shot. Perhaps Frosty the Snowman comes to life and he's done a few bad things just trying to get out and escape with the hat. Of course, Frosty wants to keep his life, but this wizard wants his hat back. So our player characters are hired to get the wizard's hat, and as they try to do that and approach, they have the conundrum of being able to figure out how to get past the children that are sworn to protect him. We're going to have a huge snowball fight as Frosty tries to make for the border of Icewind Dale. Now, of course, Frosty doesn't have to be an evil snowman. We could turn it around. Instead of the urchins being charmed, perhaps the characters or the PCs are actually children and they are enamored by the snowman and trying to help him escape. So now we have an entire sequence where our player characters in this one shot just have the task of getting this snowman from the town that they are in into the boat so that he can ride north to safety. Our next idea was submitted by Golarian in Depth, and it reads, a hobgoblin who stunk, and his goblin dog Max had framed all of the local children to seem naughty on Santa's list. Santa's elves were sent in to investigate. There were so many puns in this holiday-themed items along the way. So perhaps through some type of divination, the player characters find out that Santa is just canceling Christmas. All of these kids are on the naughty list. Santa's scratching his head. He has no idea what's going on, and now it's up to the players to find out what exactly happened. So we could have a detective type of a one-shot where the characters are trying to figure out who is behind putting all these kids on the naughty list. Or rather than that, we could run our one-shot as a day after Christmas. Perhaps all of the children in Waterdeep didn't receive anything from the Santa or the Santa-type figure that you have in that town. Everyone was on the naughty list, so Santa skipped it entirely. Now it's up to the characters to figure out what happened, and we can have this detective or investigation type of a game where eventually they find this hobgoblin and goblin that were able to use some type of magic to alter the naughty and nice list. And then in the end, if they succeed, then Santa makes one more roundabout and comes back through and saves the day. Our final idea was submitted by Daffodthrill, who writes, a lodge ski resort for wealthy nobles has snowy slopes available all year round. The groundskeeper secretly uses a bound ice elemental, or ice methods for lower level characters, at night as a living snow machine. Now, during a holiday celebration, a huge pine tree falls on the shack where the elemental is imprisoned, releasing it, and it's up to the adventurers to capture it without alerting the lodge guests. So our player characters are going to be hired by the lodge owner to bring back this ice elemental before anybody figures out what's going wrong. Now, this very much reminds me of a Ghostbusters scene from the original movie where they are trying to capture this ghost without alerting the hotel guests. So now our player characters need to figure out how to catch this ice elemental and put it back before anybody realizes what's going on. Now this could be a lot of fun, and we could even throw some twists and turns in there, especially since this lodge is for the wealthy and the rich. Maybe there is something in there that we could change a little bit so that when they actually do capture the ice elemental, that something different is going to need to happen, take place, or something else put into effect. So those are 5 holiday ideas that you can use for one-shots or side quests. And a big thanks once again to Dr. Feargood for doing the work for Mrs. Claus at Toymaker Elves and the magical items that are Christmas related. If you'd like to download those and take a look at them, the link is going to be in the description below. Now, I really enjoyed this video. I think it's a lot of fun to present ideas from you, the subscriber. So be sure that you're subscribed to the channel with that alert notification on, and check that community tab from time to time as I'm going to put future ideas there. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to continue this one-shot idea or quest idea video series just using the ideas that you, the subscriber, have. So that's all I have for you today, but before you click away, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of these ideas, and if you have your own idea for a Christmas or a holiday one-shot or quest, be sure to leave that as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great holiday season and a Merry Christmas, and on to the next. Sharpen your candy canes and grab your mistletoe, because we're going to talk about some Christmas ideas.